Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. macOS Sequoia decided to give my computer a little spaz attack. So I've been running Sequoia 15.2 since that update release came out, and I've been running it on the internal drive. And everything seemed to be fine. No big deal, right? Okay, we're good there, right? So we did a sonoma to Sequoia, did all the updates like a good little soldier, and that was fine. And I haven't experienced any problems per se. Okay, so at least nothing that I noticed. Now I decided to go back to my external drive as a main boot drive, which means I'm going to put an entire operating system onto my external drive, and that takes your internal completely offline and by default would hide it because, well, it's a built-in drive, and the only way to see it again is to go to Finder settings and say click hard disks, right? But external drives, regardless, would automatically be shown, okay? Which, no big deal, it's fine, right? So anyways, so I decided, well, let's put Sequoia onto the external. Now, when I did this, it automatically gave me the option to go right into Sequoia 15.2, okay? No big deal. I thought, all right, save some updates, right? Well, probably wouldn't recommend doing that stunt. Now, here's a little tidbit for you. When you're running an external drive as a main boot drive, okay, so the entire OS is on there, Apple Intelligence does not work, which is fine. Who cares? We've gone 40, 50 years, 40 years without it. Who the hell needs it anyway, right? So, no big deal. Did find out that in disk utilities, some new drives showed up. And so I did some research into it, and it's all over the Apple discussion boards. And a lot of people are getting this really weird ghost drive of some sort. It's almost acting like a DMG, right? And but you can't format it, you can't delete it, you can't eject it, you can't get rid of it. Now, some people are actually getting multitudes of these drive icons on their desktop. Myself, nothing on the desktop. Just, it's in the disk utilities, but what the hell is it doing? Nobody knows. Except all we do know is it's not a Trojan, it's not a virus, it's not any kind of a hack. We got all that verified, and there are ways you can do some setting changes in your preferences to just get rid of it, right? I didn't go that far, of course. I thought, well, what the hell? I don't want to screw around with turning off a pile of crap that I shouldn't have to, because I never even saw this before that I had recalled. But anyways, I started having some Bluetooth issues with my keyboard and my mouse. Now, these are the same keyboard and mouse that can hook up to 3 different devices simultaneously, right? And so I know it's not my keyboard or mouse that's the problem, right? Because I have it hooked into my Windows laptop and absolutely flawless. And it was working fine under the internal drive OS, okay, when I'd gone back to that. So that's actually not a problem. So it's something to do with the Sequoia coming down as basically what I like to call the unadulterated raw operating system. It is going to spaz attack your Mac in some form or another. Now, not necessarily are you completely off the hook, though. If you check my wife's channel, Susan Millard, now she does just updates to her OS as she needs to. I mean, I don't even think she's reloaded her computer in the 3 years she's had hers either. But I reload mine religiously every 6 months to a year without question, because I just like to keep things fresh and clean, and I like to experiment between drives and stuff like that, right? So she's fine, she's rock stable otherwise, but she's having some Bluetooth issues with her Apple earbuds, which is another Bluetooth issue that we've been hearing about as well, which is a really big thing going on right now with a lot of Mac people. Now, here's the funny part. Remember how we're getting Wi-Fi issues with the new Mac M4s with the minis? I'm kind of almost wondering, because they come with Sequoia on them, already. They don't come with Sonoma, right? So I'm wondering if maybe there's something in the OS that might actually be the issue. Although there's only one problem with this. The only way you're going to find out is to manually see if you can even put Sonoma onto an M4 chip. That we don't know. And I don't have a way of testing this myself, okay? That means you'd have to do it with a USB stick, because to do an internet reinstall, you're only going to be able to do Sequoia on an M4. Now, like I said, my system went completely haywire. My Bluetooth keeps, disconnecting. I got to hit a couple keys. They'll finally come back online. And normally it takes like over an hour before my keyboard, goes to sleep, where I'd have to do that. This is happening after even a minute even. Or I might be in the middle of typing something and it gets really sluggy. And my mouse acted up a couple of times too, which I thought, well, everything's charged up. I even tried recharging everything, all that stuff, and to no avail. This is just being a mental case with me with running this external drive as a boot drive, which I've done before in the past and never had an issue, right? Until now. So I thought, all right, what are we going to do about this? Well, how about we try just redoing, like going back to my other drive, right? Well, there's also another problem with that. I have a Steam program that I don't even know how the hell to get the rest of it out of there. So I figured, well, we'll go back to it anyway. So I unplug the drive, reboot the computer. Of course, it's not going to reboot. It's like crap. So shut it off, plug the computer back in. Something new. Never did this before. Generally, when I have a problem, I can just unplug the drive and reboot the computer, and it just gets me to sign back into it. Not this time. Things have changed. And so there's another newbie. So anyway, I went back in, but I wanted to check to see if that ghosty, weird drive thing showed up in my disk utilities program, right? And of course, it's not there. So I thought, okay, so this is definitely something that is going on with the unadulterated copy of Sequoia, because that OS was based off of Sonoma updating to Sequoia. So, and of course, it didn't give me any hassles, right? But I had wanted to go back to the external 1 terabyte just because it's a little faster drive than my internal, and of course, twice the capacity. And I wanted to start putting some other stuff on this thing to really see how far I can push this system. But apparently, I'm not going to get that opportunity now. So anyway, I thought, all right, well, the only way I can deal with my other issue with the program is to reinstall the OS. So I figured, all right, well, let's shut the system down now that I got it back up and running, because I actually had to plug the drive in, reboot from the external, and then switch the startup disk. Then it allowed me to do it. But then it also gave me a hanging issue, but we solved that fine and still got back in. We were good. So anyways, I unplugged all my external drives, shut down the computer, rebooted it into, to load it up. So you got to hold it for about 20 seconds or so until you get that options wheel. And of course, for that, if you are going to format an external drive, you can do that and it won't bark at you. But at any time you want to erase the main drive, because it does have an OS. So Apple forces you to have an OS on there, even if you want to use an external drive as a boot drive. There doesn't seem to be a way around this, which kind of confirmed that today. Anyway, so I said, all right, well, format it, erase, restart the computer, because I'm going back to the internal drive anyways. Well, lo and behold, it does its reboot and everything, gets back in, and I want to go and install the OS. I thought I was going to get Sequoia, because that's the only default I got for doing this with the external drive. But with the internal, it put me to Sonoma as my minimum OS. I'm like, well, what the hell? Do it. I don't care. So if you're going back, at least currently, and you're going to format and reinstall your OS on your internal, right now, currently, it's putting us at Sonoma. Okay? If you go with an external drive to put a new OS, it defaulted, at least for me anyways, to Sequoia, which that one is an absolute and utter terrorizing nightmare. Okay? I mean, I went through so much hell. I was like that close to saying, you know what? Frisbee time. You know what I mean? With the computer. I was that mad. Because it's like, this cannot happen at the work. I mean, I can't replace this thing yet. So anyways, it's kind of like, it's very frustrating either way. But, anyway, I couldn't even use a USB keyboard and mouse. It got that nasty. on that unadulterated OS. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I just spent the last 2 days reloading this thing for nothing because it's turned into a bug monster from hell. So let's redo it again. So anyways, I'm back on the internal drive again. I've given up on the external idea because, well, I don't care if Apple Intelligence works or not, but given that it's going to force me into Sequoia right away, unless I use a USB boot stick, that I could do and get around it. But I still have a sneaking suspicion that even doing it that way is still going to cause me problems, because I do have Sequoia on USB. And it's like, given the upgrade path seems to be stable, but the raw path is not, I'm kind of thinking, well, the only way I can get this done if I want to go external again is to get this sucker done. I updated that to Sequoia, got it finished. Now, I like to be able to set up my main drive with everything. This way, if something does happen to my external, I can just, reset the system and get back in, and I don't have any downtime, except for maybe 10 minutes. So anyway, I don't know if I'm going to go back to trying an external again anytime soon, but I need to get the stability back because I need to get some stuff done on my computer for the next while, and I can't afford any more of these interruptions with Bluetooth going haywire on me and stuff. Now, bringing us back to the Bluetooth issues, actually the Wi-Fi issues. The Wi-Fi and Bluetooth is a combination card, as many of you know. And with that, give me a second here. So with that being that way, I suspect that anybody that's running a stock Sequoia install, and that's probably what the problem is on the M4s, maybe that's causing an issue. Maybe there's some kind of a bad driver set going on in the full install of Sequoia, whereas if you go from Sonoma and update to Sequoia, you may be stable. So this may be one of those workarounds for those having Wi-Fi issues. Like, not everybody's having Wi-Fi or even screen issues on the new M4 minis, but a lot of people are. Like, I'm talking over 50%. Now, solving a screen issue is usually pretty simple. You just play around with stuff like, what do you call it? Your cables, or, maybe it's your resolution setting is not going to work with an M4 per se. Maybe an M4 must have a 2K minimum resolution, which means you need to probably upgrade your screen. But whatever. The Wi-Fi, though, issue, I think there's going to be a Bluetooth thing, because there's also a lot of Sequoia Bluetooth issues. Okay, so we have a Bluetooth and a Wi-Fi. Now, I have not experienced any Wi-Fi issues on my computer at all. Okay, I never have. And I never, ever had a Bluetooth issue up until doing this full-blown Sequoia onto the external drive. And that's when all hell broke loose. Which means I could have very well have had Wi-Fi issues not realizing it, because, well, all hell's breaking loose. I can't even do anything with my computer, really. It just kept driving me nuts. I could barely do anything for very long. So I didn't even get a chance to check my Wi-Fi signal. So this may be something that may affect all M-series chips with the full version of Sequoia. And like I said, it's probably what's coming on the M4s is the full version, which seems to be an issue here. Because, man, I've never seen hell break loose on me before with my computer. That is just, it's unheard of for me, and to have any issues like Bluetooth especially, I've never ever had problems like that. Download them all. Yeah, baby, let's take them all. Alright, so anyway, I gotta let this program do its thing. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there that, this is what's happened to me. Maybe you're experiencing a same or similar kind of an issue. Well, at least now you know where it's going to be coming from, right? And so I think for the M4 people out there, maybe try just downloading and creating a USB Sonoma boot, seeing if the M4 can actually run it. Generally, we do get it as a minimum OS for a system like mine came with Monterey, but I did manage to go back to Big Sur. So we should be able to do that with the M4. Try seeing if Sonoma is 100% stable for you. And if it is, then do the upgrades to Sequoia and see how that goes for you. But to reset the computer factory, I'm only getting Sonoma now as an internal choice, but as an external choice, it defaults to Sequoia. Kind of odd, but for what it's worth, that's what I got for you guys. So, yep, it can be a little bit of a nasty, we'll say. Anyway, in the meantime, thanks so much for watching and hanging out here. If you got any questions or comments, put them down below. If I have any more issues, because I've just done Sonoma to the Sequoia update, I will definitely let you guys know on that one to see if I have any issues now. But at least now that ghost drive thing is completely gone. And you can tell if you fire up disk utility here, it'll be down on the list listed as an external because you should only see your internal drive and your externals if you have any hooked up. But if you even don't have externals hooked up and you see another drive down here, that's that ghosty thing, and I don't know what it is about. I do know that part of it kind of does live in the OS, and some people say it's related to some other programs, but I've never even seen that before. And that's why I did redouble check my internal operating system to see if it was there, and it wasn't. So I was like, well, whatever, but I still redid the computer regardless, and now I've got a clean machine, and I just won't be reinstalling that game back into my computer because that was kind of a waste of, what was it, 10 gigs or something? It was pretty big anyway, for nothing. It was dumb. But hey, what do? You don't know until you find out, right? And so I don't know where Steam installs and keeps their crap on your computer, but I couldn't find it even in the Steam folder, so I don't know where it was kept. But anyhow, that's it. That's all. Thanks for watching, and see ya!